Welcome to the Global Arena. I'm Åsa.
And I am Imran.
We are your hosts for this exciting time when the sports movement's family is together. This weekend, we stand united around the world in our shared commitment to make disciples for Christ in the world of sports.
Our purpose is clear: to equip and inspire you. We will give you tools, stories, and resources to grow you to a mature leader who will multiply more leaders.
As we navigate through today's program, we will explore the foundational principles of leadership development, as Jesus did it. We will also share real stories from the sports movement and introduce new Ready, Set, Go resources designed to support your leadership journey.
So expect to be moved, challenged, and inspired. Expect to engage in meaningful discussions and to leave with a renewed sense of purpose and a toolkit brimming with possibilities. We are here not just to dream of a better future, but to equip ourselves to build it. So let's set the stage for an unforgettable experience. Welcome to the Global Arena.
Hi, my name is Ruth and I'm from Singapore. Well, my leadership journey really began when I was 18, and then I basically was tasked to be the prefect of the prefectorial board in the school. So that, I guess, is the beginning of my leadership journey. Well, the passage from the Bible that play a key role in my leadership journey is Romans 12, verse 16. And that is to live in harmony with each other, do not be proud, and be associating with the people of the lowly, and do not conceit. So that is something that I keep reminding myself, that it has to be that way. The surprising characteristic that I learned from the movement, from the sports movement, is a leader must be a follower. I think a lot of times we feel that leader should be out front, should be the one, that is in front of many others, but actually not true, because there are times the leader has to pull back and become a follower so that other people can step up and you just need to follow. Seeing somebody believing in me, and so that helps me to build my confidence, and also to learn from those people who are always behind the scene but they're actually the leader. So that really encourages me. Well, the mistake that I've made as a leader, I remember an incident when I was serving with one of my mentees, and it's just a little thing, but because I'm so task-oriented that I basically forgot about the relationship, and it just broke. I could feel it instantly. Basically, when I did it, I could just feel in my heart there's this, break in the relationship, and it took a long while. It was so difficult for me afterwards to repair the relationship. The time that I really doubted that I could lead is when everything is falling apart. Everything that I say or I intended to do didn't work out. And then I began to question, am I supposed to be here leading these people when I can't even handle this little thing? When you are in the deeps as a leader, you instantly feel that. I saw leadership model once before. I was with my senior pastor when we had an event that's on, because we belong to a small church, and basically when we had that event, it's a full force event, everybody's supposed to be in, but he was the first one that started to pick up chairs, arranging chairs, and setting up the whole thing for us even before we came on board to help him. So when I saw that, I said, wow, this is leadership. What I would say to young Ruth is, build relationship that will last. Be teachable and humble. You're never on top of anybody. There are many others that are more important than you or know much more than you. So be humble. Build a relationship, be humble, be teachable, and you will go a long way.
Lord, I thank you for my beloved country, Timor-Leste. You need to understand that wherever you are, the salvation that you accept from Christ is free given to you. And then you have responsibility to share with the others.
It's joyful when you see your disciple making disciple and this multiplication of generational discipleship. You wait for long and then finally, but you cannot express too much. It's full of joy. Lucas is a different thing. He got the essence of disciple making.
I train them, disciple them, and casting vision to them. To preach the gospel, share the good news is our responsibility. Bible says, how can people come to Christ if they didn't hear the gospel? That's why who will share the gospel? We are the one who have to share the gospel. I pray that the blessing of God will come through this nation.
Wow, what a start. It's good to begin with the end in mind. We believe that leaders influence, and their influence inspires action that generates impact.
Yes. As we look to Jesus' example, his strategic and compassionate approach to leadership development, it offers us a timeless blueprint.
That's right. As we transition into our exploration of walking in his steps, Jesus' blueprint for developing leaders, let's open ourselves to the wisdom and lessons that have stood the test of time.
Together, we'll discover how these ancient principles can be applied in a modern context to cultivate leaders who not only lead, but truly transform. Let's start on this journey with open hearts and minds.
No one else in history has had more of a lasting impact than Jesus, and he did it just in 3 years. Imagine if you could learn his secrets. Imagine if you had his authority. It begins in the first century Galilee. This extraordinary leader chose a few ordinary young people, fishermen, a tax collector, others.
"Come, follow me," Jesus said, "and I will send you out to fish for people." Matthew 4:19.
It was a young, inexperienced Jim. How could this change the world? His first secret was looking at the potential of these young men. What they would become, not what they were now. He formed the kingdom community. He was not like a normal leader. He had authority from outside of this world. But how? We get a glimpse when he's baptized by John.
A voice from heaven said, "This is my son, and I love him. I am very pleased with him." Matthew 3:17.
Jesus' identity was found in God. He knew he was loved. He was not a people pleaser. He modeled leading for an audience of one, God, his Father. Leaders are learners. Disciple simply means learner. What Jesus learned, he passed on to his disciples, teaching through every moment.
Jesus saw the crowds, so he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him. Then he began to teach them. Matthew 5:1-2.
He was teaching God's kingdom way in his Sermon on the Mountain. A blueprint of how to be accountable to God and to each other.
Everyone who hears my words and puts them into practice is like a wise man. He builds his house on the rock. Matthew 7:24.
So for 3 years, Jesus and his disciples experienced life and faith. He modeled faith on a boat. He modeled authority by remaining silent. He challenged them to do the impossible. He created new pictures in their minds by telling stories. These stories are kingdom resources that have changed thinking throughout history. He was demonstrating, stay with me, learn from me, and become like me. Do as I do. He sent the disciples out in pairs. He gave them authority and responsibility, even as they were still young and learning. Jesus was the best mentor. He modeled authentic, kind, relational, servant-hearted leadership, showing selfless love all the way to dying on the cross to bear all the sins of the world. He was a leader who lowered himself to see others succeed. Jesus' effectiveness as a leader was in raising up his disciples to take over.
He said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. So you must go and make disciples of all nations." Matthew 28:18-20.
He left them to take over the work with the help of the Holy Spirit. They lived out what they had learned and seen in Jesus. They were disciples who made disciples to the end of the earth. We are the results of the first disciples who learned the habits and patterns of Jesus so well 2,000 years later. You now know Jesus' secrets, and he offers you his authority. Learn from Jesus and go make disciples for him. We are Jesus' team now.
Reflecting on Jesus' approach to leadership, it's clear that his methods were intentional, relational, and transformational. As we go into our first discussion break, let's think about how we can integrate these principles into our leadership development strategies.
So discuss amongst yourselves the Jesus methods and how we can learn from his example. You will have the opportunity to share your action steps. Thank you for sharing your insights and reflections. That was awesome, Osa. Building on the foundation laid by Jesus, let's explore how these principles are being brought to life in the sports movement today.
In the next segment, we will unveil what we are calling the keys to leadership development, a collection of 8 keys for cultivating mature leaders. These components aim to shape leaders who are not just skilled, but also deeply rooted in the Bible, the vision, and purpose.
Exciting. After we understand these ways to develop leaders, we will also introduce new content that will be available from today in the Ready, Set, Go library. Stay tuned. Leadership is one of those things that we've been hearing is really important. It's critical. As one person says, everything rises and falls on leadership. What has been your guys' experience in relation to your personal relationship with growing and developing as a leader? When did you first know that you were a leader, and what happened to catalyze that?
I clearly remember like yesterday when I was 14 years old, my dad, Victor, came to me and said, "Son, I want to start a new business and it will require a training. And I'm looking for the partner and I want to start that with you." And he invited me into the process like a business partner, and I felt that I'm a leader in this business.
Wow.
For me, my leadership journey started when I was a little schoolgirl. When I was in school, where they appointed me as a class monitor, where they gave us this position and responsibility to take care of this class. And then I think from then on, I took over more responsibilities, being a class monitor, school captain. I think it just went on like that.
Wow, man, amazing. Now we know that that was just the beginning of the process for you. There's so many leaders that have people who are following them, they're leading organizations or NGOs, but some leaders thrive while other leaders struggle. What do you think are some of those things that really help a leader to thrive?
In my experience, I realized that the biggest mistake I've done is by thinking that leadership development is an event. I would bring people together for day 2 or 3 and think that after this event, everyone become a leader who will follow me, or they will have a crowd of followers. Leadership is not an event. It is a journey that requires multiple things, multiple milestones for multiple years.
I'm glad that I had this mind shift, knowing that leadership is not about loneliness. It's about having someone with you together. I think mentoring really helped me to strive really well.
So it doesn't have to be lonely at the top.
Yes.
Wow, none of you said anything about teaching or training. You said you've learned that leadership is a journey. You talked about the importance of mentoring or having a community. And I think this is critical because for us, what we've discovered as a sport movement is that there are 8 keys that contribute to one's growth and development as a leader. I think the previous video, we even saw Jesus's model where he demonstrated use of some of these keys. And so what are those 8 keys?
8 keys: teaching, resources, experience, mentoring, modeling, community, accountability, responsibility.
Wow. Okay, so 8 keys. And she got it right.
Wow, amazing. Good.
Okay, one sentence on teaching. And Ivan, can you follow?
Yes. Teaching. Teaching can be formal or informal, where you learn. It is well-structured instructions or best practices based on the Bible.
Yeah, really good.
And resources are powerful tools that you use or share with others or create for others.
And experiences are those like really powerful God moments that help to shape who you are.
Yes. Mentoring, my favorite. Walking along with someone where you're able to coach them.
And models are about inspiring people or projects that you can observe and learn from.
And community, the people in your life that encourage, inspire, challenge, and motivate you.
Accountability, having someone whom you are accountable to.
And last, responsibility, an opportunity where you can step up and show your faithfulness and transform.
Wow, man, this is awesome. I have a few more questions for you guys. As you think about your own journey, which of these 8 keys have been really important in your life? Maybe like 1 or 2 at different points.
That's interesting because all 8 played an important role in my life, but few things that really stood out was teaching, because both formal setup like training or informal setup as a team, we just casually talk. I really learned a lot about it, and I still do that. I still really like the teaching method. I still continue to listen to people and learn from them. Second thing was modeling. When people walk the talk, when I look at them, I get really influenced. I really do that. And one thing that really gave me a jump in my leadership development is mentoring. That was the best decision I made in my life, to have a mentor.
Wow, thank you for sharing. What about you, Ivan?
I can recall experiences when I was 15 years old. My friend and partner Sergey invited me to be part of his training team, and he gave me the opportunity to write things on the whiteboard as he was teaching. So that experience made me feel like I'm a teacher as well, which inspired and encouraged me to continue training. But also, I would say models. When we set up our first Cup of Nations in the city where we live, our ministry coach said, what are you going to do if people from other cities want to come, observe and learn? So part of our project was to create a space for people from other cities to come and learn from this model.
Wow, man, amazing. Like, I am so inspired by everything that you guys are sharing now. And I just have one more question for you. As you think about the sport movement and our emphasis on the leadership development journey, what do you think is really important for those watching to hear about leadership? In addition to everything that we've already said.
Leadership is not just about what you do, but who you are. So character transformation into Christ-likeness is what leadership is about.
Thank you.
For me, being in the world, we usually think leadership as position, power. I think we need to change that thinking and see leadership as way we project Jesus to the world.
Awesome. Well, there's so many resources that have been created around all of these ideas that we have shared, and we are excited to share these with you. You can access them, as you know, at readysetgo.world.
Now that you have a better grasp of these 8 keys for developing mature leaders, we are excited to release the movement's latest package of resources created specifically for leaders like you and me. They've been made in collaboration with leaders, coaches, athletes, pastors all around the world. They focus on building the leader, you, me, their holistic health, not just multiplying their work. So why focus on leaders' holistic health with God? Throughout the years, the sport movement has been growing rapidly, and it's been exciting. COVID, however, was a pivotal time for many. Some leaders felt burnt out and isolated. Some, like their passion, had been extinguished. This reinforced the need to invest more in resourcing the leaders themselves. As we looked through our resources, we noticed a few gaps. We were missing essential topics focusing on ministry to the leader. We wanted to see the kind of maturity described in Ephesians 4:11 and 13. Becoming mature and attaining to the whole measure of the fullness of Christ. So we asked these questions. What does a leader really need? How can we help a leader abide in Jesus? And how can we help them invest in their daily walk with Jesus as they constantly serve others, as they give out? You cannot lead others effectively when you are empty yourself. So what was the result? We added a few new areas
of essential content to Ready, Set, Go. Under Set, we have added lessons on character development and wholeness of body, mind, relationships, and also wholeness of spirit, often called spiritual disciplines. These are essential parts of our mindset as maturing leaders. How can you access these new resources? Well, firstly, you can get the new training session notes in a kit like before. These sessions will add to the training material you might already have. The sport movement is a relational community. We love to train others face to face. We love to be with each other. And these new sessions can happen in a Ready, Set, Go training in Impact Academies in Multiply schools. We also introduce the set of Live It Out kits. These will help you form new positive habits in your life as you learn. So go and check those out. Another exciting development flowing from the pandemic years is that we can now learn about mindset of the maturing leader in an online environment. So go to readysetgo.training to participate in a dynamic online learning community. You can enroll in different courses to learn more about our vision and our heart, as well as these new mindset sessions. These are for people new to the sport movement and also a refresh for anybody else. They are in many languages, so go and see if yours is there. On top of this, more courses are on their way to help maturing leaders with key skills like disciple making, Bible handling, team building and facilitation. All these so important. Why is this so exciting? Well, many more people can now access the excellent Ready, Set, Go training and resources. We hope that people everywhere, people who love Jesus and love sport, will find their place and serve God with passion. Go to readysetgo.world and check out all the new resources. A QR code on your Global Arena companion guide can help you get there really easily.
Inspiring, isn't it?
Yes! And for our second discussion break, let's reflect on the leadership journey shared and consider how the core resources can help empower and develop leaders.
We will be right back after your discussion with your watch party.
Hope you had a great discussion. These elements can help grow you as a leader and other leaders that you are raising up.
Let's talk about leadership pathways. There are 8 principles created on the journey within our disciple-making priorities. Let's take a look at them.
Through the years, the sport movement has grown as one family of 6 siblings. Go sports, go play, go fitness, go all ability, go action, and go game.
This year, we're introducing specific journeys for leaders of 2 of these siblings, from the competitive arenas of Go Sports to the community-focused mission of Go Play. These journeys represent our joint commitment to holistic leadership development.
Let's journey together into these new territories, ready to be inspired and to turn that inspiration into action.
The pattern of play describes what sustainable disciple-making looks like in the world of competitive and elite sport. It starts with sports people. Anyone involved in competitive and elite sport at any level. We long for every sports person in the world to become a disciple of Christ. We long for every sports person in the world to have an opportunity to meet Jesus through the pages of Scripture. Can you imagine every sports person in the world having an opportunity to hear and respond to the gospel as they also see it lived out in the lives of Christian sports people in their clubs and teams?
Christian sports people of any age, of any ability. They could be coaches, athletes, officials, or support staff. They pray that under God's sovereignty, sports people will become Christians. They are trying to play obediently to God's word by His strength in their context of sport. They are looking for opportunities to say something of their faith where God has placed them. They are looking for others to join them so together they can be encouraged and make disciples in the world of sport. They are served by
leaders who serve to make this all happen. Leaders find Christian sports people, help them connect sport and faith and connect them together to learn and encourage each other and support them to live out their faith in their world of sport. They do this as part of teams, looking to multiply the work of making disciples in the world of sport. They are also trained to deliver strategies which help sports people hear and respond to the gospel. These are sports camps, sports academies, sports mentoring.
They are served by mentors. Mentors support the leaders and focus on how we can build long-lasting impact, which multiplies into reaching new people in new places and sports. This is our pattern of play.
To enable this pattern to happen, we have created a learning community of mentoring, modeling, resources, and teaching for sports people. To give them the opportunity to see Jesus in Scripture, we have Mark's Gospel. It's designed with 6 Bible studies to help sports people understand the gospel and be given an opportunity to respond to Jesus.
For Christian sports people, we have 12 core topics to help them connect their sport and their faith, which they can do in groups, learning with others, as Bible studies, as an online course, and through videos.
Leaders have access to lots of training sessions available both offline and as online courses to help them build teams in their own local town or city. They have specific courses to help them deliver sports camps, sports academies, and sports mentoring.
Mentors can be invited to join the mentor development pathway to give them depth in their understanding and a community to learn with. With cohorts all around the world, they can learn how to multiply sports ministry through innovative online learning, a research project, and face-to-face gatherings.
All of this is being translated and can be accessed at Sports Online training on your desktop, tablet, or mobile for free.
I'm from Sweden. I have one husband and 2 teenagers.
Over a year and a half ago, we decided to start walking as a family around our town, and we started doing prayer walks.
When we moved into a new location and neighborhood as a family, we had our children play with the children in the neighborhood.
Ever since the sports movement began, families have never been far from the core. Athletes have families, children and youth live in families. Everyone lives in a household.
In the last few years, we have seen families take more priority in Go Play and other Go strategies. Family Fit was developed in the pandemic and continues to see families being discipled in faith, fitness, and fun.
Now, a wonderful new piece of movement is spreading fast, and that is family on mission.
It's a simple idea that every family and household, no matter what age, shape, or culture.
So that means we have guests coming, staying over. We have youth that do sports because we live close to a sports school.
They would invite their friends into the house for a meal.
It's a biblical idea, going right back to the heart of Jesus' call in Matthew 5.
Lord, we want to see your spirit move. We want to see revival in our town. And we want to see your will be done.
Families and households are the foundation of every society. Believing families and households are the place where God's kingdom shines in every community.
Jesus said, we are salt, adding good in our neighborhoods and streets.
We decided early on that we want to be authentic. So if I'm angry, they will see me angry. Then I have to ask for forgiveness if I sinned, and then they hear that.
But through that, began having our fellowships in the house where the children would come, sing and learn about Jesus and go back to their homes.
Jesus said we are light, shining light by loving and doing good deeds.
And through that, we saw children in the community begin to change their lifestyle and have hope.
As a sport movement, we know that families are on the fields. They are part of the sports, teams, clubs. Families are at the heart of everything.
Being a family on mission means taking Jesus with you, being the salt, shining light.
And what was really cool is other families and individuals started joining us. And now we're connecting afterwards by meals or just fellowshipping together.
Some of the parents would come and speak to us about the children and how they have changed over time because of those interactions between our children and their children.
It can be very simple. Invite a family in for a meal, play together, pray for other families, share love around you. Families are messy. Keep it simple, make it fun.
So it's like, welcome to our mess.
And it's become part of our weekly routine now, prayer walks.
Everything in a sports movement connects with family and household. It's time to be a family on mission where you are.
We are a family that is messy and we love Jesus.
This is how we have been a family on a mission.
So if you need more information and resources about family on mission, please talk to us.
So this is our contribution to God's big story. What is yours?
As we are coming to the end of our Global Arena 2024, remember that the journey we began today is just that, the beginning.
The stories we've shared, the frameworks we've explored, and the pathways we've unveiled are all parts of a larger vision, where leadership in sports ministry can really help transform lives.
As we close, let's not see this as the end, but as a launch pad for action. We are called and hopefully inspired to lead with heart, character, and spiritual integrity.
Discuss this question in your watch party. How can you work together to see mature leaders help transform lives in your community?
On our Ready, Set, Go website, you can find all the resources shared today. You will also be able to connect with things happening in your region.
Thank you for being a part of this journey. Let's make an impact in the world of sport as leaders deeply rooted in Jesus.
Wow, that was amazing.
What a global arena that was.
It's almost like we didn't want it to end, and I'm pretty sure that's how you feel too. But we must bring this to a close. And as we close, we want to leave you with a sport movement cause.
Transforming sport everywhere. This is our call. We have a real heart to see the movement scale disciple making to every place, every culture, every locker room. But for that to happen, it's going to take growing, mature leaders to do it. Leadership is influence, and so leaders are influential. So we want ourselves and you to grow stronger as a leader, and in turn invest in others and pass it on, this type of information. And as you pursue Jesus and grow him, you can help others grow in him and for him also.
It's just as we are challenged in 1 Timothy 4:16. Pay close attention to yourself and to the teaching. Persevere in these things, for as you do this, you will save both yourself and those who hear you.
This is an incredible calling, isn't it? And one that we should take seriously, to invest in ourselves, to become stronger in our walk with Jesus and our walk with others, and help them do likewise, so that we can impact the world around us by persevering, going deeper, so that we can go wider together.
So what are you waiting for? Take step 1 today. Say, I will be a part of transforming sport everywhere. All you have to do is go to readysetgo.world and download that resource that sparked an interest in you when you heard about it today. We are so excited to be with you on this journey, and we are looking forward to celebrating with you as you thrive.
We really believe you will thrive, and we look forward to celebrating with you. So, together, join us and let's transform sport everywhere. Over to you.